We are back again in a new video reaction. Please, I just want us to go through this video. Very, very important. And make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel because that's the way to support us. We need your support massively because we are going through, a lot of challenges here on this platform because as you can see, our video are being suppressed somehow, and to get it up is you supporting us by liking the video and share it widely, comment and tell us what you think about what the video is all about. That's a way of having enough engagement on the video so that the video will be recommended to other people, because this video is very, very important, very, very, very important for Africans to watch, whether you are from West Africa, East Africa, North, South Africa. I don't want to say North Africa because their own is quite different. They're more developed than other African countries, but they are still passing through a lot, to be honest. But let us focus on West, East, and South Africans. Why? Because there you have history of a leader being assassinated. There you have history of a West making and sucking everybody to ground, making sure they have everything. In fact, everybody want to grab something from us, and that is have been the problem. Of course, I don't know why we are suffering leadership problem, because in Africa you see leaders that vow to be a puppet in the hands of the West. This is not an attack on Caucasian people like white people. This is just for us to remind who we are, to remind us where we come from and what we represent, to understand that what is going on in our land, in our places, in our countries is not God. It's not God divine providence. It's just that it's a man-made. All right, and because we have some leaders who vow to act, in a way, act abnormal, and that is why we are where we are today, going through a lot. And some of the leaders that try to do something better, to offer something that prove to have something upstairs, they have been assassinated, have been taken away from us, and that continues. That's why every African should rally around Ibrahim Traore, who has stepped up and to do the needful. Whether you are from Burkina Faso or not, you should understand that that's a way to go, because in the past they have assassinated, they quite many people, many leaders, Thomas Sankara and many of them. And not only him, how many of you remember Gaddafi? I feel so bad remembering what happened to Gaddafi. I watched a short clip of Hillary Clinton claiming that they're celebrating the day they claim they died, Gaddafi. And many of us, we are not aware of the impact of Gaddafi in that part of the world, entire continent. Now we can see that. Now we understand what happened to Gaddafi and why they buy him. So your problem is not actually hidden from you. And like I said, this is not an attack on any white people. This is just to remind us that the politics, international politics that have been mapped out against Africans should be debunked, okay, objectively. And you that is from Africa, you need to also do your job by contributing in any way you can. For example, promoting any video that that it teaches well-being of Africans, to support African growth in general. When we talk about freedom, when we talk about having our way, having our own country, it's not about any other thing. It's not about hate on fellow African brothers. What it means is that you are creating making the environment unable for the West to conquer you the more. Okay, because the more you keep on maintaining that issue of togetherness and all that, you are lying to yourself, because they will use one or two in your midst to control the intelligent one and subdue them forever. So no matter how brilliant and how sound you may think you are, one Okoko will be elected and store the person, and the person will take instruction from the West. If you talk, they will tell you that that's what the law says. But when you begin to define your boundary and your territory as an African to maintain your land, anybody that choose to act abnormal will be doing that to their own detriment without dragging you to that mess. You understand what I'm saying? Because what I'm saying this is because the video you're about to listen now says something about they just outline the problem of the Africans and the method by which these people use method they use to make sure they subdue Africans in name of building African and helping Africans. They will tell you that if you don't allow the Africans to work together, to unite together, that if they will try to do that, divide them by ethnic boundary, like separate them and create hatred about them in their midst. It is different from when you have your own, like total independent from the group that committing nuisance like what you have now in Nigeria. So it's not the same thing, because I know some people will listen to that and say, oh, then why are you people talking about Biafra then now? It is not the same. In fact, you know what? Let me play the video when you get to that point, because they said a very vital information, very important thing on the video. So that's why you need to pay close attention to pick the points one by one. And why you need to also listen to that is that there are some things that I may not have time to elaborate on the video. Some of you have watched the video, but I want to pay extra, attention on it so that you will understand everything the way it is. Just hear this.
If you wanted to stop Africa from becoming a superpower, you wouldn't have to invent a new strategy. The blueprint has already been written, tested, and perfected over centuries. You'd start by making sure Africa never unites. The easiest way to do that is by keeping people divided along ethnic, tribal, and religious lines.
Did you hear that?
If they ever start working together, remind them of past grievances.
Divide them by ethnic tribal line. Don't allow them to unite. That is different from when you are talking about division, like separating yourself as an independent country. But for example, they divide Nigeria by tribal line. Listen very carefully, because I know this part you may not pay attention to that. In Nigeria today, there's division between tribal line. Then there's fake unity, and that fake unity is there. In the midst of that, division, they have one umbrella called unity, which is Federal Republic of Nigeria, according to them. Then, in that so-called Federal Republic and so-called Union, they have already divided everything by tribal line. That's what I mean by when they divide you by tribal line, you have to also unite yourself by tribal line. What do I mean by that? When you have for example, Arewa people go, Biafra go, and Oduduwa go, you see, you may say that you have divide them by tribal line, isn't it? Now, as you divide them, they begin to govern themselves separately and have their own way of thinking, forming their own government separately, right? Then what you have just done is creating competition that will enable them to begin to work to realize, look, I cannot keep on having, have my people in a blackout while my neighbor have constant power supply. You get the point? Then they would like to beat each other. They would like to compete with each other. While competing, you are developing. When you think that because out of you have to create this kind of a little, good jealousness, like the jealousy will be there. And that jealousy is going to help you to upgrade your system, to upgrade your country, to upgrade your security, to beautify your environment, to make it look better than others. In the midst of that competition, you are developing speedily without knowing. That is why I said, as they divide you by ethnic tribal line, you have to also unite yourself by ethnic tribal line, because then you have a meeting. There will be a mutual respect. You understand? Mutual respect, mutual progress. When I come to your land, you respect me because you know that if you push me away, I will go back to my land. I have a place to fall back. Not fall back of okay. I'm talking about go back to your origin. Now, so let's continue, because I know why I emphasize on this. This is one of the parts that I want to throw more light on it on this video. Please pay attention as we move forward.
Stoke old wounds. Fund separatist movements. Keep border disputes unresolved. Make sure every time they take one step forward, they take 2 steps back because they're too busy fighting each other. You'd install leaders who serve foreign interests, not their people. Find the most corrupt, the most easily manipulated, the ones who crave wealth and status more than progress.
So
the most easily manipulated.
Exactly what you have. That's why anybody want to contest as president of Nigeria in any day, you must have this quality they just mentioned now. Are you easily manipulated? Are you the kind of person that it would be very easy to manipulate? Are you the type that clear for money, for wealth, than status, than good name? Are you the one that are willing to take the name like a corrupt person and like former British Prime Minister called Buhari, fantastical, corrupt, something like that. That's the way he put the word. And despite that, Buhari did not even, question his integrity, nothing whatsoever. He just smiled. They just the government, his government just smiled over that and move on. So this is to tell you, these are people who prefer to have, that kind of uh, clear for wealth and what they can achieve, looting and all that, what have you, just because they want to enrich themselves without minding the integrity of their name being dragged to the mud. They don't care as long as they have what they want. To the current president Tinubu is a typical example of that. Despite they questioning his certificate and everything, yet he don't care. You understand? Even if his people are protesting for hunger, buying for hunger, he don't care. He will be moving shamelessly without without minding anybody. That's what they want to install for you, and you keep on going through poverty and everything. Anyway, let's continue.
Ones who crave wealth and status more than progress. Offer them power in exchange for loyalty.
Exactly.
If a leader rises who actually cares about Africa, get rid of them.
Exactly.
Assassinate them if necessary. But if that's too messy, just destabilize their government.
Did you hear that? Assassinate them. Okay? Or if that is too messy, destabilize their government. How do they destabilize government? By using their own people, your own African brother, in name of a political opposition. And they put a lot of money, deceive people, use their media, international media like CNN and what have you, to portray the leader that is doing something good for the Africans or for his people, that the person is too bad, too very, very bad. Okay, so please, you see what I'm saying now, the owner of the platform would I'm like this one. That's why you need to like the video and share it. Liking it is proving to them that look, what we are saying here is pure truth without adding anything. It's for our own good. So that's just the fact. Like I said, this is not an attack on a Caucasian, like white people. This is not an attack on them. This is just to tell you that politics going on, politics that West are using to manipulate Africans, we need to expose it beyond repair. Because that's what they do. Now they are coming after Ibrahim Traore. Whether you are from Burkina Faso or not, you need to support him massively. It doesn't matter because this is how they control. Or imagine African have almost 50 something countries in Africa. We cannot even boast one country that you said this country is one of the is you can they can sit on the same table with any Western country to argue on anything. Nothing whatsoever. So that's why it's an insult. It's an insult.
And back a coup. If they talk about nationalizing resources, make an example out of them. If they try to unite Africa, take them out before the idea spreads. You'd keep Africa economically weak by making sure it never industrializes. Let them export raw materials, but never process them themselves. Control the mines, the oil fields, the rare earth minerals. Keep them selling cheap and buying expensive. If a country tries to break free and build its own industries, sabotage it. Place sanctions, destabilize its currency, fund local opposition, crash its economy. If that doesn't work, orchestrate a civil war. People can't build when they're too busy trying to survive. You'd make sure their education system produces workers, not innovators. Teach them history that glorifies their oppressors. Make them think their cultures are primitive. Their ancestors were savages. Their future depends on...
This part is so interesting as well. Teach them history that you glorify their oppressors. You understand? Teach them history that glorify their oppressors. Some of us actually, when you see a British man, you think that you have seen God Himself. Anyway, I'm not going to throw more light on that. Let's continue.
...for an approval. Train them to memorize, not to think critically. Keep their best and brightest looking overseas for opportunities. Make them dream of escaping Africa rather than fixing it.
Exactly.
Offer scholarships that take their top minds to the West and never encourage them to return. Let the continent keep training doctors and engineers only for them to go enrich other nations. You'd control their narratives. Own their media. Control their stories. Dictate their image to the world. Make them believe they are corrupt, hopeless, eternally in crisis. Flood their screens with poverty porn and war zones. Show them charity ads that make them believe they are helpless without foreign aid. Downplay their successes. twist their victories into isolated incidents. If an African country develops a groundbreaking innovation, credit a foreign investor. If an African leader implements a successful policy, frame it as an anomaly rather than proof of competence. You'd make sure they remain dependent, drown them in debt, offer loans with impossible conditions, force them to privatize everything so foreign corporations own their water, their electricity, their land. When they struggle, give them just enough aid to keep them alive, but never enough to make them self-sufficient. Use charities to create a culture of reliance rather than resilience. Make them think foreign intervention is necessary, that they can't solve their own problems, that they always need help from the outside. You'd suppress their military strength, keep their armies weak, their defense industries non-existent. Sell them weapons to fight each other, but never let them develop high-tech military technology. If a country tries to build a strong defense system, accuse them of being a threat to stability. Make sure they always need foreign peacekeepers, foreign military bases, foreign advisors controlling their security. Keep them vulnerable to invasion, coups, and foreign interference. The formula is simple. Divide, corrupt, exploit, miseducate, control. Keep them fighting each other. Keep them looking outside for solutions. Keep them poor, dependent, insecure. Make sure every attempt to break free is met with resistance so strong that the next generation thinks twice before trying again. This isn't a theory. It's history. The real question isn't how to stop Africa from becoming a superpower. It's how Africa can break the cycle, despite every effort to keep it down.
So that is the message, and I believe it is very clear to you. All right. So let us listen to this African lady. And this is a kind of not a protest, a march in solidarity with Ibrahim Traore from people of Burkina Faso. And this lady says something I want you to hear before we end this video. But let me remind you again to like the video and share it and subscribe to the channel in case if you are new. Very, very important that you do that. Listen.
We read the history books that they killed African leaders. We will not write such books anymore. We won't read such books anymore. The next set of books we read will be about how we conquered the Europeans. They came and conquered us. We will rewrite the books and we will conquer them and drive them out of our lands. So we stand here firmly with Ibrahim Traore and all true African leaders. We don't have time for no Afrikaans leaders or no Africanots leaders. We don't have time for packets and sellouts and coconuts. We're here for real African leaders. So I stand firm with Ibrahim Traore. And that's why I am here. From here, we'll go to the Burkina embassy to show solidarity there. We'll keep talking, we'll keep marching, we'll keep using social media. Social media is so powerful. This revolution will be televised. When they killed Sankara, there was no social media. But return to social media, we will keep going. So we'll keep going. Let's not give up. And I think the most important thing as well, turn to your shrines, turn to your African gods. It works. We have to use our African beliefs to fight these people. This is a spiritual battle. Last night, after we all went to our shrines and things, what happened in Ghana last night? Is that the army coming for us? It rained. It rained last night.
Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again because I wanted to hear what she said.
We read the history books that they killed African leaders. We will not write such books anymore. We won't read such books anymore. The next set of books we read will be about how we conquered the Europeans. They came and conquered us. We will rewrite the books and we will conquer them and drive them out of our lands. So we stand here firmly with Ibrahim Traore and all true African leaders. We don't have time for no Afrikaans leaders or no Africanots leaders. We don't have time for packets and sellouts and coconuts. We're here for real African leaders. So I stand firm with Ibrahim Traore. And that's why I am here. From here, we'll go to the Burkina embassy to show solidarity there. We'll keep talking, we'll keep marching, we'll keep using social media. Social media is so powerful.
So, my bro, thank you so much for your time. I just want to, end it here. God bless you for watching to this end, to this point. Please don't forget to, like I said, share it, like the video. I would like to hear from you on comment section. What is your take on this? God bless you and see you again. Bye bye for now.